I'm Bree.
And I'm Lucky.
We're the host of
Saying Whatever We Want to Say. Authentic girl talk.
No punches pulled.
Like no one's listening.
We discuss any and everything from lifestyle,
our experiences as Black women,
love,
business, and so much more. Saying whatever we want to say.
Hey, what's up, Luck?
What's up? Welcome back to Saying Whatever We Want to Say. Well, you're just skipping the whole...
I'm trying to get to it,
You're
right?
skipping the whole intro.
I'm just trying to get to it today because I'm super excited. We got a guest on the show.
Our first guest for season 3.
First guest for season 3. We got Ty in the building. Say what's up.
Put that mic up in your face, girl. Put that mic up in your face, girl. There you go. Yeah. I mean, no, not the to the sucking. My bad. No, I just want
y'all play.
Make sure I'm there.
There you go. Now we can hear you.
Y'all know my profession. Right. Let's keep it huge.
Them kids should not be listening to this once again.
That's a fact.
Go read a book.
You're right.
How about that? I'm the wrong guest to have one if kids watch this.
Read a book. Parental advisory is strongly suggested.
Yeah, y'all know that.
Read a book.
This is called Saying Whatever We Want to Say for a reason.
Exactly.
So definitely no children involved. All right. So on this episode, we talking about being grown women. We're talking about coming of age, coming from our young selves into the women that we have grown to be today.
Fake mature selves.
Our fake mature selves. No, I'm not. We're not fake mature. Stop it. No, but just the journey into adulthood, into womanhood, and how we were shaped, and all of that good stuff. So, my girl Lucky, want to lead us all?
Not really. So it's the questions are for everybody. We can all answer the questions. But when did you realize that you were an adult? We'll start with Ty. When did you realize you were an adult?
Sad part is, when I was younger, I had to take care of myself. So you could say that I was at like 14, because I had to take care of myself. Like, maybe a little younger than that, because to be honest with you, we didn't have a lot of adult supervision. Like, when we was all together growing up, like, we really had to take care of ourselves. So, with me being one of the older grandkids, I had to kind of step it up. Like, I remember going to the laundromat and shit at like 10 years old.
Can I ask why so young? Like, where was your mom, your dad?
Well, y'all know how it was, where they be like, we dropping y'all off at grandma's house. The one thing with my family, we did come here. Well, with my family, we did come here early, like I said to D earlier, when my dad came up here from jail. So
she's talking about Albany.
Yeah, from Queens. So at that time, my family was back and forth, so they really didn't trust us being here a lot. So we would go back and forth to Queens all the time. So they would drop us off at grandma's house all the time. So she still worked at the time. So most of the time we was home by ourselves. You know, the adults didn't give them. Like, it's like 7 kids, like 8, 9 kids.
Oh, y'all can take care of yourself.
Right.
Y'all good.
Right.
Yeah, it's a bunch of y'all.
Yeah, it's mad at y'all. Y'all better look out for each other. You know how it goes.
Right. So that's basically what it was for a really, really long time. So... yeah, we was always grown. Shit.
All right. Yeah. What about you, Bri?
I think that I had a realization when I was like 26, and it was
26.
Yeah, and that was only like 3 years ago. Cause I never really had a moment. No, seriously, I never really had a moment where I was like, oh, I'm adulting. Like I moved out when I was 20, so I had my own car, I had my own apartment, but I never like had a moment of realization like I'm an adult. Like I never thought about it really. Even being a parent, like I didn't say to myself like, oh, I'm an adult now. Like I just never had that moment. I think I really had that moment when I was around 26 and I had went through an experience where I felt like I didn't know who I was.
Okay.
And then when I started to have that internal conversation with myself about who I am, what I bring to the world, when I started to have those realizations and those conversations with myself and started to unpack some of my childhood trauma, that's when I really started to see like, oh yeah, I feel like an adult, like I'm grown. That's when I said it out loud. I just never really thought about it. I mean, I was adulting. I feel like I was mature for a very long time, but I just never like said it out loud.
Okay.
That's real shit. Yeah. Okay.
I feel like I just been grown. Like, I just feel like I've been grown. Like, I never even thought about it. I never thought about, oh, when was I an adult? Like,
right.
I don't know, like Ty was saying, like I had both my parents in the house. We did get dropped off my grandma's, but it wasn't like that. It was like Bible study, scripture, and prayer, and very structured when we got to my grandmother's house. And it was not a no drop off situation.
Right.
My grandmother probably was not having that. Rest in peace, Grams, miss you. But yeah, I don't think she was probably having that. It's probably like you got to call and let her know that the kids are coming. But we were made to be responsible, and I am the oldest child of my parents' children, and I am the oldest grandchild on my father's side, and I'm in the top like maybe 5 or 6 on my mother's side as oldest. But I just feel like I've always been responsible. I've always had to do things. I remember getting dropped off at the laundromat and my mom being like, okay, see y'all in a few hours.
Yeah, I mean, I had those same experiences. Like,
but I don't know about being an adult.
Yeah, like I kind of feel like I had those same experiences. Me and my sister used to push the laundry cart, and I used to ride on top, like at a young age. So we used to used to do those things. But I'm just talking about a moment where I was like, oh, like,
no, I get it.
I'm really an adult. Yeah,
I had moments where like wow, we really asked for this shit. Like this is what we want.
Yeah, the adulthood is really hood.
Right.
It's ghetto.
Very ghetto. Back to the streets. I want to throw adulthood back to the streets.
Word up. I don't want to be here. Like that.
So, but I maybe I need to think about when I felt like an adult, because I know I've been an adult. I have responsibilities and stuff like that, but I never really thought about it. It's just like it's just a transition in life, and it's like, all right, this is what it is. You got a kid, you got responsibilities, you got to step up.
I always had responsibilities though, so I kind of felt like that's kind of why, like, like. There is, I've always been grown.
Been an adult. You've been grown.
It wasn't. Right. It wasn't a specific.
Was you grown or was you grown?
Right.
No, it is what you're talking about. If it levels to that shit,
right? That's so. What are some of the things that you think shaped you? I'll start with you, Ty. What do you think are some of the things that you think shaped you to be the woman that you are today?
My mom, my aunts, and my environment.
Okay. Can you speak a little bit to your mom? Like,
how
does your mom shape you?
Oh man, that's where I get my strong personality from. Like my mom, oh my gosh, Big Val.
Miss Val.
Big Val, word. Like Big Val, like they called her that for a reason. Just, wow, yeah, very.
Ty being shy right now because she.
I mean, yeah, of course, but Val was, she was definitely something. She made me confident in who I'm supposed to be. She made me understand, like, stand on who you are. Like, you can't just be like she told me not to procrastinate. She used to hate that shit. Oh my gosh. Procrastination was her like she hated that shit. But yeah, she taught me to be strong, but I didn't like the trials and tribulations that I watched her go through too. So I would say the negative part and the positive part of her life kind of shaped me to who I am. And my aunts too. Like, we come from a real strong tribe of women, yo. Like that ass.
That's right.
Makes it a little harder dealing with men, but you know. We won't speak on that. But yeah, like we just come from a real line of strong women, like for real. And I have no choice but to be strong too with my life as well. So you know what I mean? Right.
What about you, Luck?
What was the question?
What do you think are some of the things that shaped you?
I'm joking. Oh wow, probably definitely my family. But I would say also my friends. And going off to college was huge for me. That was like my first taste of freedom and trying to figure things out on my own. Okay. And I was like, okay, like aside from what would my family think, what would my mom, dad think in them, I was like, what do I want? And starting to like take different classes and see like, okay, like I rock with this or I don't rock with this. Like I think college was big for me. In my transition and who I became. I really believe that.
Okay. For me, I would definitely say a big part of who I am came from my environment. I grew up, like I said, I grew up in the projects, and a lot of what I seen, I didn't want to be. So I kind of took a different approach. Like, I don't want to be like that. Like, I don't want to be like a lot of the women that I saw at that time. But, I advocate for Black women no matter where they from. You know me, but
Girl,
I definitely
ratchet. What you say?
Right? No, but I definitely I feel like my environment shaped me, but also like I was heavy into like books a lot. i.e. why I'm an ELA teacher. But like I was heavy into books, so that influenced me, like me wanting to travel. Like it kind of shaped me to have a wider perspective than most people that I knew. So aside from that, my mom's sense of humor is crazy. I'm a goof. I laugh at everything. My mother laughed at everything. My mom's strength, for sure, or her resilience rather. The way that I've seen her move through situations that would have made somebody fold. For sure, like all of like just the people around me. My older sister. I was shaped by lots of women. My grandmother. I wanted marriage because of my grandmother. Just seeing her like.
Not you laugh.
Laughing is crazy. No.
She got something else going on in her mind about marriage.
No,
For sure.
I was just gonna say my grandmother was different. Like, sorry.
My grandmother kind of had a smart mouth, but she was like very like poised, like a classy woman, very classy. But she did kind of have a little bit of a smart mouth. But she was from the South, so she had to hold it down a little bit. Yeah.
So I'll start with you. We'll start with you. What childhood traumas affected your transition?
I think that for the most part, not be like one big childhood trauma for me is feeling silenced a lot, like not being able to express myself. Like not being able to say what's on my mind, like shut up. It was always like, shut up, Brianna, shut up. And I did talk a lot because I really wanted to get my point across. Right. But like it kind of affected me because like when I was growing up, when I became an adult rather, I feel like I was always afraid to say what's on my mind. So like I didn't speak up for myself. I'm very, still to this day, I think I'm kind of passive. I'm kind of getting better at it, but I was like very passive, like let people say what they want to say, nervous to say what was on my mind. Like all of that kind of affect me and how I communicated with people in general. So yeah. What
about you, Ty?
What was the question again? So I can
childhood traumas, how they affect your growth.
Lord have mercy, we need a whole therapy.
You need a whole.
But I can honestly say mostly both my parents being drug addicts. That really affected me as a kid. Like it really did. Yeah, it did. Yeah. That was the biggest thing I could say. But, you know, of course it's more, but, you know.
Do you think that it kind of destroyed your trust for people? Like you don't trust people easily? You don't feel like you can be vulnerable with people?
Oh, hell no. Yeah, right. It comes with all that stuff. Right, of course. You know, it also comes with being overly, like for me, sometimes over the top from the way I dress, from the way my house is, because I never had nothing. So you want to be comfortable. You want your kids to be comfortable. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that comes into play with, you know, who you become as a person because we always had to work hard. And that's something I'm trying to teach my kids. Like, it's not about working hard. It really isn't. It's about getting what you want. Like, for real, true story. That's really what I'm learning about life. It's not about working hard. It's not about putting all this blood, sweat, and tears that people talk about. You could really live the life that you want to by really doing what you want to do.
It's true.
Like, for real. Like, think about it. You doing what you want to do right now.
Right.
You would not be doing this if you didn't want to.
100% correct.
That shit is not hard work. That's why I keep telling you every time you talk about how busy you are. Like, but my nigga, you live.
You doing what you love.
I like it. Yeah,
right.
And you're absolutely right.
It's not
you're
hard
absolutely
work.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might have the days you don't want to and shit like that. But regardless of what, you're still doing what you want to do, what you want to put your energies into. You know what I mean? A lot of us don't get a chance to do that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, I can feel that.
I feel that. I feel that for sure.
Yeah.
Did you want me to go?
Yeah, of course.
My childhood trauma would have been the molestation that I've went through on several different occasions. And I think that caused a stunt in my growth for a while, especially with men, boys. Like, yeah. And I think it stunted me in a way where I've been aggressive. Like where I felt like I might not had to be aggressive. Like I felt like all the time somebody was trying to get over. I had an issue. I'm still working through it. Like, but everything is like a lot of things that probably would seem small to other people are issues for me because I look at like I got that
right,
like that caused something in me that caused me to look at men in
a certain way.
Yeah, in a certain way. Yeah,
I got you.
Not feeling safe around men and all of that
Yeah,
stuff. Like,
still now you're 100% right, because still now when I'm like, say I'm walking somewhere, I have an issue. Like I don't like to be anywhere alone most of the time with a man, or like even if I'm walking on the street, I will go to the opposite side of the street. I'll act like I'm on my phone. Like,
Got you.
it's stuff like that I do, and I don't. You said that made me think of the things that I do on a daily basis. That's like, oh wow,
That's
like
PTSD.
yeah.
So, we're gonna start with Ty for this next question. So, what is something that your parents told you that you wish you would have listened to?
My parents was different.
Or your grandmother, somebody.
My parents was different. I can honestly say my mom was like, when I tell you she was a thoroughbred, she was a thoroughbred. She ain't pulling no punches, no nothing. So it's like, I can't say I was really hard-headed, because she ain't let you be hard-headed, because she let you be a dumbass. She gonna tell you was a dumbass. So it's like, had to listen to her, or you had to, or you definitely dealt with the consequences. So, I can say for myself, I didn't listen to myself. That's where a lot of my mistakes come from in life, because I didn't listen to myself.
What about you, Luck?
Probably the thing that my parents told me was probably save money. But the issue with saying that is they didn't teach me how to save money.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. So they told me to save money, but
yeah.
I ain't.
No, same here. They say that shit all the time, but how do you save
You
money?
have to
What
show.
the hell do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to
You have to
show
lead by
someone.
example.
Like, first of all, you ain't even got a job, so how you telling me you save money?
Ooh.
I had a job.
No, but do you get what I'm
parents,
saying? Like,
but-
how they talking to you in certain ways. Like, I think that's one thing with like hood kids. That's the problem. It's like they tell us what not to do, but it's like, but you doing everything that you're telling us not to.
But
do.
is that necessarily hood though? Because I think because I didn't grow up in the hood.
Okay?
But I think that's just things that we pass down. So somebody probably in my family lived in the hood, but maybe that's things that we pass down from generation to generation and not fix it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So with me, I'm trying to fix it with my child. Like,
Same.
okay, I'm telling her to save money, but I'm not just telling her.
No,
like
I'm
I've given
showing.
her examples of how to save money. I set up an account for her
Right.
when she was, I don't know, her father and I, like, I don't know, 5.
Right.
I don't even know. And we started saving for her. Like,
Nice.
those are things that
Yeah.
she knows now. So it's when she trying to go out and get something, she know how to get it.
Right.
So I think that was the thing that I was told, but I wasn't told properly. But if I knew better, I would have saved.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And I think that mine's is pretty much in the same realm, like financial literacy. Credit was something that I heard
Credit.
so often. Like I heard that so many times. Like, you need to make sure your credit is good. You need to like what?
What's credit?
Like, I just got a credit card for the first time
What's
like
credit?
last year. Like I
Oh,
never
wow.
Really?
Yeah, like last year was my first time ever even.
When'd you get your first one?
Girl.
Was it 18 when you went to college?
Yes.
When they were standing outside?
Yes.
When they standing outside of the school?
For real?
Oh yeah,
Yo,
everybody
they are
signing
predators.
up. Oh,
Thank you.
girl, and I was shoop.
It was
don't know better.
swiping.
And
Yeah.
you know, I went to Morgan.
Yeah.
So we in Baltimore. We lit. Now we going to travel. We go, girl.
Child,
Please.
got a
I had
credit
like
card?
10 credit cards at like 19 years old. Like, oh my gosh. Like,
What?
that's a true story.
I had like 4.
No.
Yeah, I have 4
We
now.
was lit. We
But I'm about to be 30.
But that's good. I mean,
Right.
you probably have more of a sense of responsibility
Right.
when you got your first. Imagine
Right.
being 18. You don't got no money.
I would have been swiping.
I was bugging.
My mother used to cuss me out every month. If I get
I didn't tell
another
my
do-
parents.
Ain't no tell your parents, because you know they asked for your home address. You couldn't give them the school address, so we had to give
Maybe
them
my
our
parents
home.
just
So we had to
doesn't
give them
looking
our
at the
home,
mail.
our home address, and Val used to call me.
They was respecting
every
your
month.
privacy.
What the fuck is this? Like, yo, I pay one more goddamn credit card bill.
And your parents had to pay it? You didn't?
My mom, yeah.
Oh, your mom paid it?
Well, that was nice
Most
of
of
her.
the
Oh,
time
that's
she did.
nice.
Uh-huh.
No, the fuck it wasn't,
Ooh.
because I always had to hear it. No.
But she paid it.
Right.
Me, I was in like debt, credit score, nil.
No, that
Credit
didn't
score
happen. No.
400.
I will say I'm better now because my shit definitely got fucked up too. But nah, I ended up fixing it and shit. But yeah, I would honestly say, yeah, during that time we was lit. Because me and my friends at that time, we traveled all the time. We was in Baltimore. We a bunch of New York girls.
Right.
In Baltimore. We going to Howard. We going to Virginia
Oh, yeah,
State.
y'all was living it up.
Virginia Beach and shit. Like, oh my gosh.
It sounds like a good time.
It sounds like a good time to me. Zero regrets.
Zero regrets.
Screw the credit score.
10 out of 10 would highly recommend.
Girl. Wow. I would honestly say Morgan State was definitely, yeah.
I love that.
Lord.
I wish I would have went to an HBCU for sure.
Wow,
I really
yeah.
wish I did. But I went to a
ghetto,
PWI.
She said it was ghetto.
Very
It
ghetto.
was very ghetto.
But that's fine.
Why?
But I would honestly, you mean why? It's black people. Like, come on.
What does this black equate to ghetto?
Sometimes, yes. I hate that. I do.
Okay. I didn't go to an all
Real
black
talk,
school.
I didn't either.
Walking contradiction. Yes. It's perfect. It's wonderful. Yes, that we have that, but let's not be honest. Sometimes black people don't know how to run things sometimes. It gets to a point to where the organization, the attitude, like all of that, like you wouldn't believe. I remember, for example, sophomore year, gave us our room numbers. Everything was fine. 2 weeks before fucking classes start, we all get a letter to all upperclassmen getting a letter. Oh, we overbooked for freshmen, so you don't have a room. Wait, what?
What? So where'd you go?
We all had to scramble to get apartments. Like, nigga.
What?
That's
It was literally
crazy.
2 weeks before fucking class. Like, everybody from
So you had to pay out of pocket for an apartment?
yes.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
yeah, that's the ghetto.
I would have been big mad.
Big mad was not the word.
Did
Most
they
of our
reimburse?
parents Was big mad.
Did they reimburse?
No. What's the reimburse? You still want to go to the school?
I'm going to go ahead and transfer.
Oh.
Right.
go ahead.
And it's crazy because sophomore year, a lot of people did end up transferring back home because, of course, you know that out-of-state tuition is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right? So, yes. Yeah. So, I will say, great experience. I feel like every black kid should go to a HBCU. I really, truly
Make sure you got
do.
your money up just
But
in
make
case
sure
you don't got a room.
Make sure your
Just in case you don't got nowhere to stay.
Wait,
Just in case you
y'all,
homeless.
real talk. Y'all ain't see the shit from I'm trying to think.
Oh, where they had,
HBCUs where the girls was on there. Matter of fact, Howard just
Yeah,
recently where
it
they was
was
talking about
mold.
mold and shit. Talking
Oh
about the
yeah, my
food all
little
fucked up,
cousin, my
like-
little cousin goes there, and I seen like some posts about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, like that's
Ooh.
no bullshit. When I read it, I was like, oh, same.
They ain't
ghetto
getting no
shit.
better.
Yeah, no.
They ain't getting no
Because
better.
actually,
I
we
feel
used to go to Howard all the time, and that shit was just as ratchet and ghetto.
Sheesh.
Virginia State too, but
It was cultural. It was ethnic. It was ethnic.
You need it. Thank you. You need it. You need it. Go to a new city. Look, remember, we was in Baltimore. Like, have you ever met Baltimore people? Oh my god.
Yes.
I like the way they talk. Yeah, the way they talk is funny. Mew. You.
No bullshit. I ain't gonna put her on blast right now, but my sister-in-law is from Baltimore, and I call her every time. Every time I want to hear that
You
shit, I
low-key
be like,
just
yo,
put
go
her on
ahead and
blast.
I did, but you know, she know who she is. She know who
You know who you
You
are,
are,
sis.
sis.
You know I love you. But yes, I called her that day for, matter of fact, I called her both days. She ain't answer the first time for 2/22. She ain't call the first time, but she called for the 2/22. Yeah, so that shit was hilarious. Yeah. I did have her on speakerphone too because I was getting my hair braided that day.
So she was getting a T.
Yeah.
Cute.
It was. That's
My
funny.
ex-husband's from Baltimore, so that shit, yeah, they were.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Maybe you told
His
me.
father, I did.
Yeah, you probably told me.
He don't count. That's why we don't talk about him.
Yeah.
All right, but speaking of being resilient, because you homeless in college, let's talk about the phrase that black women are strong. Oof, this one really grinds my gears a little bit.
Not grind your
Does
gears.
it feel because I kind of want to share my opinion last.
Okay.
Does it feel liberating or does it feel like a burden to you? We'll start with you, Luck.
I feel that it's a burden. Why is strong placed on black women? I think that we are strong because we have been made to be strong. Do we always want to be strong? Absolutely not. I want to have times of vulnerability. I want to have times where I just can't. But I feel like because a lot of times we have been made to, and there's a plethora of reasons, which we could sit here and talk for hours, being like systematic racism, et cetera, of why we've had to be strong. But I don't like it. I don't feel that it should, black women and being strong should be synonymous.
Right.
Like they don't do it to anybody, any other women.
Right.
agree.
Like-
I never hear somebody say, "Oh, white women are so strong." Never heard it. I literally never heard it. Like,
it's not a thing.
I'm not trying to be funny. Like, I
It's not a
literally
thing.
never heard, like, Hispanic women are so strong.
It's not a thing.
I never heard nobody say it before.
I think we don't, as Black women, we don't get associated with being womanly. We don't get associated with being the nurturers, like the way that we should be. I think within our own culture we do, but outside of our culture, we don't get associated with the things that other women are associated with. But I will leave this for Ty to go, because I will go about how I feel.
I don't like that shit. Like, word up. Like, same thing Lucky just said. Like, why do we have to be strong? Like, strong for what? Like, it's all right. Like, we can be vulnerable. We should be able to be. Unfortunately, we can't. Like I said earlier, I have no choice but to be strong. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we have no choice but to be. And that choice, we ain't got no fucking choice. Like, who wants that choice all the time? Like, I have to be strong. Think about it. It goes from our relationships to when we're outside in our careers to where just walking outside being with another group of women sometimes. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you just always have to be strong. So, yeah, that's why.
Yeah, for sure. Like, we always have to go the extra mile. And I feel like if we're not strong, if we're not being strong, then we're weak. Like, you know, like there's no vulnerability, there's no softness, it's just weakness. If you're not strong, then the opposite of that is just simply weakness, and we're seen as not woman enough to our male counterparts, to people in the world just in general. Like, they'll be like, oh, if a Black woman is soft or vulnerable or submissive, right, lots of us hate that word.
Right.
Me personally, I do not.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, I personally do not hate that word, but that's
I don't hate it, but it's
it's
a catch-22.
Yeah,
it's a catch-22.
Yeah, and I personally, as a woman who has now accepted being submissive, right? But I think that being submissive is also a two-way street, right? Like, women are not just submissive. Like, you're in a relationship and you submit to your partner, whether you're the man or you're the woman.
That's the key thing.
Yeah,
that's the thing, and it's never usually. Most times when you talk about submission, though, you don't talk about a man being submissive to the wife. It's usually just a one way when it's spoken about.
Right.
So I think that's probably my biggest issue.
Yeah, and I think that maybe when you're having a conversation with people about it, it's important to note that, like, what we're talking about when you're submissive in a relationship to somebody who's also giving you enough respect to make you feel like you can be that way, and respect from your partner ultimately is also them submitting to you.
True story.
So, like, I think that we need to just change the conversation about how we talk about submission, because it's not just one
need
side.
To find a new word.
Yeah, maybe.
Happy.
No, I'm fine with the word. I'm fine with it now.
I'll be happy.
That may be it. That may be.
because
it
just have a negative connotation, so people think like, oh, submission,
dominatrix.
Yeah,
like bitch.
There you go.
Like,
there you
know
go.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
there you go.
You think dominance. You think the dominance thing when you hear submissive. So that's kind of why. But remember, in the Black community, a lot of us wasn't taught what real relationships were like. You get what I'm saying? So it's like you either was raised in few of us was raised in 2-parent households with a good functional relationship. How many 2-parent households you've heard of, but that shit was toxic as fucking fuck. You get what I'm saying? So or most of them single parent households, you know what I mean? So then you add the drug stuff, you add the environment, come on, like
Yeah, so I think that overall, I don't like the strong name. I'm okay with the word submission, but apparently not okay with the word strong. And I don't know. I think that because it just when you say Black women are strong, it kind of negates the fact that we need help.
Yeah,
like we do need help. We're women, and not only are we're women, we're human. Like, I feel like people in general need help. Like, you cannot do everything by yourself. You can't say that it takes a village to raise a child and then say that we're strong and we don't need help.
What's the first thing a white woman say to you when she starts describing a Black woman that she likes?
She's so strong. She's so strong. Ooh. She's so beautiful. Like, I remember when I was in college too. Like,
words. Yes.
No, for real. I remember. I remember when I was in college and I was doing observations, or maybe I was student teaching. I don't remember, but they had put me in a class where the students were very, very difficult, and I went to a PWI, so I was the only Black person in the group of students who were student teaching at the time, and
predominantly white institution.
Yes,
for those who don't know.
Yes, I went to a predominantly white institution. So all of my classmates were white.